Ow, ow, ow. So if you clicked on this video, you know that I have a Shelby GT500, as you can see in the back. So if you're new to the channel, if you've been back to the channel, I appreciate you for coming back. We're going to be going over the top features of the GT500, years 2020 to 2022, the performance out of the GT500s, what you can expect, my experience with the GT500, and all in all, the pros and cons of owning one, driving one, and just being in the presence of one, I guess. I don't know. Let's hop into the video. Alright guys, so before the video goes any farther, I just want to say I appreciate all of you for the support lately, all the love. I couldn't be doing this without you guys. I don't get paid to make these videos yet, but the actual love you guys have been showing, the support, it inspires me, makes me want to keep going. So if you're new to the channel, leave a like on the video, subscribe. I truly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. It means a lot to me. As my name you know, this is my dream to do. So without further ado, let's get into this video. So while we're on the outside of the car, we're going to take a look at the wheels. You have your 305 30R20s in the front and 315 30Rs in the rear. Front and rears are 20 inches, and your wheel width is 11.5 in the front and 11.5 in the rear. Obviously, with the GT500 being top of the line for all Mustangs and one of the fastest, most speed density, highest performance car Ford has ever produced, you have, of course, your big Brembo brakes in the front. You have a Brembo brake here, a Brembo brake in the rear, and another Brembo brake in this side of the rear.
Wow!
So guys, in the front of the GT500, you have 18-inch rotors wrapped in big Brembo brakes, and then you go to the rear, and I believe it is 16-inch Brembo or 16-inch rotors in the rear with small Brembos in the back. And just in case you didn't know this was a Shelby or a GT500, you got a Shelby here, Shelby GT500, Shelby, 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 Shelby. Shelby. Now guys, I don't want to be too alarmed now, but I think it's a Shelby. And I heard there's just one more. There's just one more. That one is always so hard.
What do you mean by that?
One more Shelby. Coming around to the front of the car, you can tell the headlights are from a Gen 1 Mustang. The Shelbys actually run Gen 1 headlights and front end. So if you haven't watched my previous videos, the new headlights we were getting are, and they're going to look absolutely sick on the GT500. And then obviously you get this big front splitter that says Shelby on it because we want to be as obnoxious as we can possibly be. Come over to the side skirts. This part is actually separate, so this normal side skirt runs by itself, and then this is just an add-on. So I've seen people run them with or without that extra step, but I love it. It adds to the aerodynamics. What's the worst could happen? Obviously, what most of you guys came for is the big blower on the 5.2 liter motor that this GT500 comes with. As you can see, we threw a big SPE intake on. Now your normal intake is just a regular boxed intake that most of the GTs and EcoBoosts come with. It's really nothing special. It has the air tunnel that comes down in through the front bumper, and as you can see, there's like a little air tunnel in here which leads to the intake. With this being the base model GT500 and not the carbon fiber track pack, this did not come with an oil catch can, so we threw an SPE oil catch can on there because, like I said before, and I'll say it again, catch cans are just one of the easiest things you can do for preventative maintenance. If you didn't think the 5.2 liter motor was enough, if the 2.6 liter blower wasn't enough, there are 6 heat exchangers that cool the engine, the supercharger, transmission, and the engine oil. So obviously you have your regular radiator, fans, your shroud, everything here. But then you drop down, you have one cooler there, another cooler there. So we've gone over the 5.2 liter motor, the 2.6 liter blower, and I stand corrected, the 16.5 inch front rotors. I believe it's 18 inch starting with the Brembos, and then 14.6 inch rear rotors, not including the Brembo brake. They come with Michelin Sport tires, which a lot of people love, a lot of people don't love, and like I said, there's 305s on the front and 315s in the rear. So you have pretty meaty tires on, and your wheels alone are 11.5 inches. Now, I don't know about you, but 20 by 11.5 inches is pretty big. Considering most of your wheel setups are like 20 by 10s, 20 by 9.5, 20 by 10.5, not a lot of cars running an 11.5 inch width wheel. With this being a base model, these wheels I've seen on Marketplace for probably $1,000, $2,000 just because people get rid of them and they want to make a quick sale. But I'd say these wheels could probably still go for around $3,000, $4,000 on a good set of tires and not curb rashed, in good condition. If you're a Mustang guru, Mustang fanatic, you know that the carbon fiber track back comes with carbon fiber wheels. Now, you're not supposed to run these wheels in under 45-degree weather just because they'll crack. And like I said, carbon fiber, it's really fragile. So they don't recommend you running in any type of cold weather. If you live in a state where there's a bunch of potholes, you're at risk. So I wanted to go carbon fiber track back wheels, but it just does not make sense to me, and it's a lot of expense that comes out of your pocket. Whether you get rock chips, whether you hit a big pothole, you never know what can happen. And the reason these carbon fiber wheels are such a big deal, they're $12,000. It's gross. It's $12,000 for 4 wheels. Now, some people have them raised to $15,000 with tires on them. It's a little crazy to me. I'm not spending $15,000 for a quarter of the car's price on wheels. That's just insane. So figure even a replacement wheel would cost around $3,000, $4,000 depending on who the person is selling them, if you get a good deal, whatever it may be. So obviously, like I said, carbon fiber track pack gets those carbon fiber wheels. Carbon fiber track packs also get a bigger wing. That is also carbon fiber. That's really the main difference between these cars, besides the curb weight. This car right now, as a base model car, fully equipped, no weight reduction, weighs almost 4,100 to 4,200 pounds. Now, that's without driver, that's without passenger, but that is wet weight, so oil, gas, you name it. Now, if you've ever done your research or you've ever even taken a step into the world of GT500s, these cars take 11.5 quarts of oil, and your oil change can range from anywhere between $250 to $300, regardless of if you're doing it yourself or if you have the Ford dealership do it. I'd much rather do the oil change myself, don't get me wrong, but oil alone from Ford is $280, and LMR, American Muscle, CJ Pony Parts also has the oil change kits for the 5W50 for $300. Now, you go to a Ford dealer, they'll pay for the oil with their price, so that automatically knocks it down to like $240, $230, something around there, and you still end up paying $290. I think I paid less at the Ford dealer than I would have getting the oil there by myself. Obviously, I don't know if I've showcased this, if you guys paid attention to it. This is a rain tray. So naturally, if you're driving the car and it starts raining, the water collects in the vents. But I have it right now held in with 4 bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4 for easy removal and access, because it does get quite hot here, and the inlet temps I just don't want running super high. So in high school, I was coming across GT500s, just making them on the Ford website, and you get to create and customize on the Ford website a GT500, what you would like to spec. So I created a carbon fiber track pack grabber yellow GT500, and I've been obsessed with the color grabber yellow. Now, mind you, I've never seen it in person. So when I seen this one go up for sale, I immediately knew I had to go look at it, see if I liked it. And it took a while for me to actually fall in love with it. It's a hard color to get used to, but it is very different from the rest of the yellows that Ford produces. Grabber yellow is the 4th rarest color produced for the GT500s. There was 14,130 GT500s produced between the year 2020 and 2022. And this grabber yellow is one of 180. So that I absolutely love. It is one of 2,000 with the vinyl stripes, which you can see back there. And honestly, I love my car. I love the grabber yellow. I love the way it stands out. It gets a lot of love, gets a lot of attention, breaks a lot of necks. And honestly, it's one of the better cars that I've ever been in. It controls, it handles, it puts the power down to the wheels, it hooks and books, and it does its job. I took the red taillights out, put in the Morimoto Euro style. As you can see down here, the GT500 comes with a rear valance and diffuser in the back, and comes with, obviously, quad tip exhausts. There was an option to get a Borla active exhaust installed from factory, from Ford, onto your GT500. Mine didn't come with one, like I said, base model things. But enough being said from out here. I'm gonna go ahead, open the door, and show you guys one more thing, which I've absolutely loved and I think is absolutely sick. Oh, it's too bright in here. Let's try the other side. There it is. Now you guys can see it. My garage lights are so bright. So you kind of see it. Got a little puddle light over here for the GT500. Obviously got to show off. That's the snake, cobra, yep, that guy. Now, taking a step into the GT500, you have the regular Mustang door that all Mustangs come with. You have an upgraded sound system. You have a Ford Performance door sill plate. You have, obviously, the Cobra seats. You have the custom center console. And obviously your dial for your automatic transmission. But you do get to select your suspension while driving, your steering while driving. You obviously have your cruise control. Obviously, it's still a Shelby. And then over here you have a little Cobra where you get to select your track apps, your My Color, your cluster, and I'll show you guys all that in a second. And then with the GT500, you get the carbon fiber dash selection. So we got the carbon fiber dash. We have our gauges up here for the oil pressure and oil temp, which I really don't pay attention to over here. You can't always see it, and if you're in the driver's seat, you can't always see this analog over here. So I end up paying attention to the cluster just because it's right in front of me. And when you turn your GT500 on, you get this really cool Ford Performance screen, which I absolutely love. I just love the setup. I wish the background would always stay like that, but it always just goes back to the regular Mustang screen here in a second. Regular Mustang screen, so kind of boring to me. But obviously, like, we have over here on the passenger side, we have our chassis number, letting you know it's a GT500, lets you know your hood's open. If you didn't know, my hood was open. Now, if you're familiar with carbon fiber track packs, again, carbon fiber track packs don't have the rear seat. They have a rear seat delete in them already, which is really convenient because I'm going to end up tearing these seats out anyway and putting a rear seat delete in. I'm probably thinking about putting a full effect logo on it from MP Composites. And honestly, a rear seat delete would be much more convenient to take Jax places, but Jax is getting absolutely huge. And if you don't know who Jax is, he's my XL bully. He's probably about 100 pounds now, super tall, super long, super chunky. So you have your power four-way seats, which I absolutely love. Alyssa loves her heated seats during the winter, and I love my cooled seats during the summer. So we get the best of both worlds with these seats. And I haven't seen a lot of these seats produced in GT500s. A couple people have them, and they do go for sale for around $5,000 to $6,000. Now, obviously, if you own a GT500, if you've seen GT500s in person, whether it's carbon fiber track pack or the base models with the Recaros, those Recaros go for probably around $7,000 to $8,000, $9,000 sometimes. So they're going for top dollar. Same kind of white black design. It's just, I would never pay that much for seats either. Call me cheap, but my Brom seats in my blue GT fit perfectly well. I love them. They came with the seat adapter, and I had fixed back seats, so it was a little difficult for everyone else to get used to, but I loved it because I'm almost 6'3", and the seat was a little bit lower, but I put spacers on, and everything fit fine. And actually, Alyssa's seat went up more so she could see over the dash, because apparently she can barely see over the dash, which I find it hard to believe because I can see perfectly fine, but not everybody's 6'2", 6'3". So that's one thing. So now the car kind of calmed down a little bit. You have your mode selector here, obviously, and your exhaust mode selector. Now, if you have your premium pack or anything like that with active valve exhaust and you don't have this switch, you know that it's at least in here whenever you come through, and you have your exhaust mode on your base model cars like the GTs. I'm not sure the EcoBoosts come with active exhaust. I've never owned one. I've never dove that deep into one. But you can come over here, choose your cluster appearance. I personally keep it in sport mode, but this is what track mode looks like. A lot of people run that one. You can change it with the drive mode. The normal mode is just your regular dial setup, whatever you want to call that. I refer to that as a dial setup. But I personally just love the sport mode. Cylinder head temp, my oil pressure, and my vacuum gauge for boost. Now, obviously there's like your music button and your settings and stuff like that. But like you have your My Color, where I custom made the yellow one with the purple, and you get to configure your you get to actually configure your gauges and choose which ones you want, which ones are more suitable for your needs at the moment, at the time. A lot of people run the manifold charge temp. I should run that more with it being so hot here, but you get your shift indicator, all this kind of stuff. Our shift indicator there. You come in here, you get to see your track apps, and I'm using this all through the Cobra button. Your exhaust mode, your sport, track, drag, rain strip, all that, you can all go through here. And then obviously like the heated and cooled seats, on mine at least. I don't have the Recaro, so that's why mine comes with that. And then I showed like the gauge. You come through here, you hit the Cobra, come here, hit OK after all your things come up, hit the Cobra, and then you get to like come in through your track apps, all your basic stuff. Launch control I have like set around like 3,000 RPM. You get to have your acceleration timer, your brake performance, your lap timer, your performance shift indicator. I have mine set at 5,000, which I just did for you guys, which I'm actually going to take a look at really quick. I want to try drag. I'll try drag. Yeah, let's do that. I guess I don't know. Whatever that does, I'll find out one day whenever I hit 5,000 RPM. But obviously, like you could do in the regular GTs, you can come in through here, change your exhaust mode if you want, your cluster appearance, and then your my color. Like I said, I custom made the yellow color with the purple, just because I thought it looked cool. Whatever, you don't got to do that. I just thought it was different. And the steering wheel, I love the steering wheel. It's like Alcantara. I love it. Good feeling. I hate the leather steering wheels. I always have. So this kind of feels better. Like my hands are always very moist and sweaty, and it's weird. I hate touching leather. I hate touching styrofoam, stuff like that. So this makes me feel safe. So obviously, many of you might be alarmed about what may turn you off the GT500s is they are automatics. Now, unfortunately, the GT500s, if you own a GT500, like I said 500 times this video, if you're in the forums, you know that the GT500s have a transline issue, and a lot of them are under recall. Well, they're all under recall. I actually heard of a few people going through a lemon lawsuit just because their translines are literally imploding under a lot of pressure. So I went ahead with the SPE transline kit that everybody recommended. Threw new lines on. I just have to get the actual trans oil seals, but the transmission is absolutely flawless. The way these DCTs shift nowadays, the technology that goes into these transmissions, it's absolutely worth it. Now obviously you have your paddle shifters, and don't hate on me, do not hate. Paddle shifters are the closest thing I'm going to get to having a manual GT500, so let me live my dream, thank you. But no, seriously, so the paddle shifters, I love them. They work, they respond super quick, there's no delay to them. Now there is a bunch of tuners out there who will fix the delay, who will time your transmission for the perfect shift points. You can tune the trans, you can tune the motors. So that's the good thing with these GT500s being the last GT500s to be made. You can still tune them, unlike the S650s yet. So obviously, while a lot of people are waiting for the S650s to get tuned, I have a 2021 GT500 that I can tune, I can mod, I can do stuff to, and that's actually enjoyable to me. I will say this is one of the best transmissions, the best automatic transmission that I've ever driven with. Now, as many of you may know, when I got this car probably 5-6 months ago, the first 3 months that I had it, the wrench light was on, which absolutely sucks. The Ford dealer didn't want to touch it. They didn't want to fix it. They wanted nothing to do with it. Probably the day after I got it, through 17 different check engine codes. So ran it through the Ford Oasis, ran 17 DTC codes. Now only 2 of them were a hard fault, and it's all for high and low battery voltage. So I think when one thing went, the rest went with it. So right now it's still running high and low voltage issues, and I think there's an open circuit in the APIM in the dash, so the whole dash would have to be torn apart. But the car's running. We threw new battery, got the harness, did everything to make sure that this car runs. The car's tuned. The wrench light shouldn't come back on, but as many of you know, at Mustang Week, whenever the cops tried arresting me, pulling me out of the car for the noise disturbance, I didn't even get to turn my car on. My wrench light was on, and it was just an absolute bummer. It scared me, but the car's driven perfectly fine since, knock on wood, fingers crossed. But yeah, so like the day after I got the car, there's like a thermal thing in the passenger seat for the heated seats. that pain, the APIM, the battery, the high-low, everything that possibly could go wrong went wrong. The TCM, the PCM, the BCM, everything went out, and I think the car basically just had to relearn itself. Once the wrench light comes on, it stays on, and the Ford dealer has to clear it. Now, a lot of the people in the GT500 forums have had the same issue, and luckily, what you can do, you can turn the car off, open the door, close the door, and trick the car into thinking you left the car, you got back in, you're restarting it. So it's like a whole reset for the car. Or you sit here and you undo your battery. I don't want to think about too much of it, but yeah, we ended up getting somebody else's issue, which sucks, but it is what it is. All the wheels are curb rashed. I have nothing to hide. I have no shame in saying all the wheels are curb rashed. The last owner curbed all the wheels, and they colored them in with Sharpie, so I'm driving a GT500 around with curb rash wheels. There's PPF on the car, so good on the last owner for doing that, but the people who put the PPF on didn't offer paint correction, didn't do anything like that, so there's scratches, like actual dark scratches under the PPF, which again, I have to take all the PPF off, I have to paint correct, I have to do everything like that, but I haven't had time. The car's finally running great, it's doing what it is, and I'm getting these videos out for you guys, so I have to find time to pull this PPF off and paint correct everything, and I have the actual paint code and the paint pen to fix it, so we'll do that down the road. I'm just grateful for where the car's at right now. I own a GT500, I drive a GT500, I get to have one of 180, one of 14,130 GT500. It's a rare car. I don't want to say it's super rare because it's 14,000, but honestly, it's a blessing to me. It's one of the best things that's happened to me, and I'm so grateful for this car. They're one of the lightest sport cars you can get, and the bang for your buck, really, you're almost getting 800 to the wheel horsepower when you buy a GT500, seeing that they come out with 760 horsepower. They come out with 760 horsepower to the rear wheel. Now, obviously, where you're at, your sea level, where your dyno, wherever you may be, may not accurately pick up on that. Obviously, it's different everywhere. Who your tuner is, what mods you have done to the car. This with the intake, and yeah, this with just the intake makes almost 780, 760, 770, somewhere in between there. So it went from 760 to 770, 780, somewhere around there whenever we dyno tuned it. So obviously, it's not a crazy difference, but putting the new intake on definitely made the Supercharger whine much better. I want to throw UD5 on, drop a pulley, port the blower, get a brick, upgrade our cooling system, get everything locked in. So in reality, whenever this car is ready to start running at the track and do everything like that, we won't have an issue. So I'm going to make this video short and sweet, hopefully. Hopefully this isn't like a 30-minute video. I've been loving the support from you guys. I absolutely, truly appreciate it, as many of you know. Doing this whole YouTube thing is a dream to me. So to even get this far, to even have you guys in my corner supporting me, and to be doing what I love and making these videos for you guys, I absolutely enjoy doing. I appreciate you guys so much from the bottom of my heart. I hope this quality is a little bit better for you guys with this lavalier mic. I'm using a bobby pin right now because I can't find the actual sticky part for, well, not the sticky part, the little clip for the actual mic. So shout out to Alyssa for giving me one of her bobby pins. Like I said, there's PPF on the car, and the perforation points they made to release the air bubbles or whatever they did. There's dirt underneath, and there is a spot on the hood where you can see they used as a relief point. So like right here, they did perforation points. So now there's dirt on the other side of that, and I can't get that dirt out because it's stuck. It's adhered on the bottom side. But like you see this scratch here, they wrapped over that. Like it's wrapped. Like I can't even grab that with my nail. I can't grab it with my fingers. I can't do anything with that. So we have a bunch of stuff to go over on the GT500. But again, I'm still super grateful for it. But yeah, without further ado, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching the video. And yeah, like I said, I have huge things planned for this channel. Whole bunch of stuff planned for this car. So stick around. Make sure you subscribe. Leave a like on the video. And yeah, I'll see you guys all in the next video. Deuces.